Nine News has come under fire for photoshopping an image of Animal Justice Party MP Georgie Purcell. The news channel has since apologised and blamed the blunder on, quote, automation by Photoshop. But Georgie says that she isn't convinced by the explanation. She joins me now. Georgie, thanks so much for your time. What do you think about this whole saga?
Thanks for having me on. Look, I think it's been a really, really good lesson for people in public life and for media outlets that we need to do more to protect women in these circumstances. I haven't been quiet since I got elected about the sexist and misogynistic rhetoric that I've received. And this is a really subtle form of it, but it's when it's happening to you, it's particularly confronting to see your own body altered on the nightly news to meet conventional beauty standards. And this is something that wouldn't happen to a male politician.
No, it certainly doesn't. I mean, if they had a midriff suit on, it would look pretty weird. But I think the point is, Georgie, that you don't look like the others. You're not a conventional suit-wearing male and you're shaking up the establishment. Do you think people are threatened by that?
Yeah, look, I think that's a really good point, and it's something that I have been reflecting on. I think this is, whether intentional or not, there's at the very least unconscious biases at play here, because I'm not particularly offended being pictured in a crop top. I do wear crop tops. There's images of me on my social media in a crop top, but what it comes down to here is consent, and I didn't consent to having my body altered for the nightly news. And like you said, I am different to the usual politician, and I do like to promote that. And of course, Channel 9 have said this was an AI blunder. And regardless, I think that if Jacinta Allen came out of an AI edit with a crop top on, they would have picked up on it. And we need to ask why that they didn't with me.
What bothered me so much about this, I think, Georgie, was that essentially they were trying to make you look sexier than you are, if that is possible. And somehow the inference still is that if you're sexy, you can't be taken seriously. Was that your view, or am I getting it all wrong here?
That is absolutely my view. So often my looks and I guess my differences are brought into the narrative around me in public life. And you only need to look at my social media commentary where I'll be talking about one of my issues, one of my policies, and there's comments on it saying not everything is about how you look. And it's my physical appearance is, I can't help that. I'm not going to put a bag over my head or wear a sack every time I make a public appearance. And I think there's this real idea we're in this new stage of women in politics where our physical appearance is so under the microscope that you just can't win. I always say, don't be ugly, but don't be too pretty. And then you'll be accepted by, your constituents and society. And it's just not good enough because, again, it's just not something that happens to men in politics.
So it's be pretty, but don't be too pretty? Is that what?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So this is not the only example, but it's probably, one that has at least gone around the country and it's got people talking. But are there other examples in your career where that has happened, where you haven't been taken seriously or people judge you before you speak?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always felt like from the moment that I stepped foot in Parliament that I wasn't taken seriously for a few reasons. My age, I'm the youngest woman in the Victorian Parliament, and I think there's this real idea that you have to have a certain amount of life experience before entering politics rather than recognising we all have unique experiences to share from the time that we are living in. I think it's my tattoos, the fact that I dress differently, and also my past. I haven't been quiet about my past because I'm not ashamed of it. I did work as a stripper when I was at university. I also then went on and became a lawyer, but so often that's not what's spoken about. It's my former work at university, and that's absolutely what came into play yesterday after I called out Channel 9, was the fact that I did used to do that job and I did allow people to see my body, but it comes down to the fundamental concept of consent. I consented to that. I didn't consent to having my body changed. And I think at a time where we're really talking about negative self-body image, it's something that all young women have struggled with. We need to ask ourselves why we allow this to go on.